Today, we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Saturday, July 15th, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comment section below. Minnesota Timberwolves vs. Charlotte Hornets. Minnesota Timberwolves vs. Charlotte Hornets prediction on July 15th, 2023. The meeting will take place in the Summer League, which is held in Las Vegas. At this tournament, Charlotte has suffered 4 defeats out of 4. Will the upcoming match turn out to be successful for the nominal guests? Prior to this match, the teams had met 35 times. Charlotte has 24 wins, while Minnesota has recorded only 11 victories. In addition, when making a prediction for Minnesota Timberwolves vs. Charlotte Hornets, you should pay attention to the fact that the last game, which took place in late February, ended in favor of the Hornets, 121-113. Before making a prediction on Minnesota Timberwolves vs. Charlotte Hornets, we should pay attention to the sportsbook's opinion. They are confident that the nominal guests will suffer another defeat in the upcoming confrontation, with which we fully agree. At this tournament, Charlotte shows low-quality basketball, no wins, huge problems with the realization of their shots, and instability in defense. Minnesota, in turn, is in more or less good shape. The team took care of New Orleans, 102-88, without too many problems, and fought such a tough opponent as Atlanta, 93-99, on equal terms. The Timberwolves must beat their opponent in the upcoming meeting. Our team pick is Timberwolves win. Before making a prediction for Minnesota, you should pay attention to the fact that the team brought to the tournament not the most experienced squad. There are a lot of young basketball players in the roster, and the oldest players are 24 years old. In addition, Minnesota has not performed well in the past 3 games. After a solid 102-88 win over New Orleans, the team has recorded 3 big losses, losing to Utah 96-108, Atlanta 93-99, and Sacramento 80-93. Charlotte continues to disappoint its fans. In July, the team managed to participate in 6 friendly matches, 4 of them in the Summer League, and did not win a single victory. In addition, when making a prediction on Charlotte, you should pay attention to the fact that the team's young roster is completely inept on defense. Opponents broke the 90-point bar in 4 out of 6 games, averaged 91.83 points per game. Our total pick under. Toronto Raptors vs. Golden State Warriors. Toronto Raptors vs. Golden State Warriors prediction on July 15th, 2023. The meeting will take place in the Summer League, which takes place in Las Vegas. Both teams are in disgusting form. The teams have suffered 4 defeats out of 4. Who will be lucky in the upcoming confrontation? These teams have met 43 times, as a result of which Toronto won 16 times, and Golden State won 27 times. In addition, when making a prediction for Toronto Raptors vs. Golden State Warriors, it is worth noting that the last game, which took place in late January, ended in a convincing victory for the Warriors, 129-117. The results of the Summer League are hard to credit Toronto. All 4 games that took place during this tournament were failures by all criteria. On July 8th, the Raptors suffered a major defeat from Chicago, 83-74. On July 9th, were destroyed by Cleveland, 99-76. On July 13th, were weaker than Detroit, not the most serious opponent, 94-90. And on July 14th, lost to Brooklyn with the score 99-94. In addition, when making a prediction for Toronto, you should pay attention to the fact that the Canadian club brought a fairly young roster to the tournament. The roster includes a huge number of 19 to 20-year-old basketball players. One of the strongest clubs in the NBA is not at all impressive in the Summer League. The team managed to play 4 friendly games in this tournament and in all cases showed low-quality basketball. In the last game, which took place on July 14th, the Warriors suffered a crushing defeat against such a weak opponent as Houston, 118-101. In addition, when making a prediction for Golden State, you should pay attention to the fact that the Warriors brought to the tournament a squad with a huge number of inexperienced basketball players. The average age of the team is only 22 to 23 years old. Our team pick is Toronto Raptors. The meeting between the two teams, which have not been able to win a single victory so far, 4 losses out of 4, promises to be intense and productive. Both teams will do their best on the court to break this unpleasant streak. Open competition and the desire to succeed will lead to an exciting game that will last for 40 minutes of net playing time. In addition, when making a prediction for Toronto Raptors versus Golden State Warriors, you should pay attention to the fact that head-to-head meetings are often spectacular. In the last match, the clubs scored 246 points, 129 to 117. We think that the upcoming confrontation will not be an exception, and the teams will be able to break this total. Our total pick is total points over 174.5 points. Sacramento Kings versus Milwaukee Bucks. Sacramento Kings versus Milwaukee Bucks prediction on July 15, 2023. The meeting will take place in the Summer League, which is held in Las Vegas. Sacramento cannot beat their opponent for 13 head-to-head meetings. Expect another easy victory of the nominal guests? Before this match, the teams have met 34 times. Milwaukee was stronger 23 times, while Sacramento recorded only 11 wins. In addition, when making a prediction for Sacramento Kings versus Milwaukee Bucks, you should pay attention to the fact that the last game, which took place on March 14th, ended with a score of 133 to 124 in favor of the Bucks. Before making a prediction for Sacramento Kings versus Milwaukee Bucks, you should pay attention to the fact that the teams are approaching the upcoming confrontation in completely different forms. Recently, Milwaukee has almost nothing going well, 2 major defeats, poor defensive play, huge problems with the realization of their shots, an average of about 72 points per game. Sacramento, in turn, is in relatively good condition. It stands out for its tactical competence and high level of physical fitness, and has managed to win 4 out of 6. In the upcoming meeting, the nominal host should look no worse than their opponent. Our team pick is Sacramento Kings win. Sacramento is showing a pretty good level of play in this preseason, for friendly matches out of 6 have turned out to be winnable. During this time, the Kings have beaten such strong opponents as Golden State 100-94, Miami 95-83, Atlanta 80-76, and Minnesota 93-80. In addition, when making a prediction for Sacramento, you should pay attention to the fact that the club brought an experienced roster to the tournament. There are almost no young basketball players in the roster, and the most productive is 25-year-old Jordan Ford, averaging 16.2 points and 5.2 assists. When making a prediction for Milwaukee, you should pay attention to the fact that the team is approaching the upcoming matchup in a terrible mood. After 2 solid wins over such strong opponents as Denver 92-85 and Phoenix 84-75, the club slumped and suffered 2 crushing defeats to Brooklyn 71-92 and Miami 72-91. However, it should be noted that 22-year-old center Orlando Robinson continues to show a stable game. The young basketball player is the most efficient player of his team and scores an average of 25.3 points per game. Our total pick is under.